Hi, Brad here with Twisted Up Brewery. Today we're going to go over brewing on our 5-barrel system. This system is from Stout Tanks and Kettles. We've had this for about 3 years. We're down to our last few brews on this. We're upgrading to a 10-barrel. I will say that this has been a workhorse for us. It's been a great starter system. And with that being said, we basically have everything we need and nothing that we don't. We bought this on a budget when we first opened, and we didn't have all the frills and thrills. So I'm going to go over everything that we got and talk about why we got it and how it works. So to start with, this is our 5-barrel hot liquor tank. It holds about 200 gallons. It does not have an insulation jacket on it. And however, that would be nice. It's not necessary, because basically the insulation jacket is just going to save you electric. It's going to cause your heating elements to kick on and off a little bit more. We're going to, it might take a little bit longer to heat the tank, but it's really not necessary, so we opted against it. It's pretty much double the price when you start adding another layer of stainless steel around here and insulation inside of that. And also what we did here is we actually have a Hermes coil inside of this. That just came in handy. We did a lot of step mashing in the beginning. Now we still use it like for temperature correction sometimes. We do have a couple recipes that we still do a step mash on, but for the most part, we've kind of gotten away from doing most of the step mashing that we did in the beginning, but it does work fairly well. So that is a feature. This one is fully electric, so we have 4 heating elements. Now, when you buy this tank stock, it does not come with heating elements. It does not come with a control panel. So what we did is we actually are using the same electric heating elements that our pilot system used, and we just got longer cords, and we're using our pilot system control panel to power this thing, and it actually worked out really well. Matter of fact, we filled this up the night before, and we only turn on 2 of the heating elements, and we got it set to the PID controller. We set it for whatever our strike temperature is. Come in the next day, it's ready to brew. So it works great for us. The only time we really use the additional 2 heating elements is like if we need to heat that water quick. Like let's say we forgot to fill it up the night before, and we really needed to raise that temperature quick. But that's pretty much all we really use it for. There's an additional Whirlpool arm. Seems like a lot of the hot liquor tanks would have that. Just to recirculate the water, I guess, to even out the temperature. We've never used it. We've never really found that we needed that, but it is there. This funky little contraption here, we installed ourselves. So this tank comes with just this nipple, and we are using reverse osmosis water here. So the issue is with RO water, it takes a long time to fill this tank. So what we did is we created this piping system here with valves. There's a solenoid here and a float valve inside. So pretty much once the water gets to the top and triggers that float valve, it shuts off our RO. That way we can just turn the RO on and walk away and not have to worry about our tank overflowing. If you're not using RO, it's real easy. You just fill it up with water and turn it on. So it's that easy. And that's pretty much it about the hot water tank. Now we're going to move over to the mash tun. So the mash tun, I did feel that it was necessary to get this insulated and jacketed. I feel like out of all 3 tanks in your brewing system, having this one insulated is the most important because your mash temperature is very important. You want to hold that mash temperature. So we did spend the extra money to get it insulated. This has a nice manway on the front. It's got a 3-piece false bottom here, so it's real easy to take it out and put it in. And the only thing I didn't really like about it, when it came with a solid lid. So it took pretty much 2 guys to lift the lid off because it was very complicated to get it on and off. So Stout sent us this modified lid, so it's like a hinged lid system. This is what we use now. We fold it back, we mash in. We're going to show you that here in a second. We're brewing our hazy IPA today. So we hinge that open, and someone gets up here, and we just paddle it in manually. So you can see we got our pump system set up here for the hot liquor tank. So what we start with is I will hold the hose over the drain, and I will just flush a little bit of water through. Pretty much just purging the pump if there's a little bit of stagnant water there from the last time you used it or something. and we're preheating the hose a little bit, so we're shooting the correct temperature into our mash tun. Then we're going to hook this up. You just pump it right in. It does not take long at all. And this, you can shoot it in there as fast as you can, as hard as your pump will take it. So we want to get that water in there, and we want to get mashed in quick. That's the beauty of using a hot liquor tank. Now, we have an on-demand hot water system, but at the time it would take to get 170-ish degree water, depending on your strike temperature, over to the mash tun, it takes forever. This, we're going to shoot it over in minutes. Real quick, just our setup here. So we didn't get a brewer's platform for this system. All I did was I went to Lowe's and I got the scaffolding unit, which is actually really nice. It's foldable, it's adjustable, and it seems to work great. We can actually, at the end of the brew day, we rinse it down, we fold it up, and just get it out of our way. That opens up this storage spot where we usually store our cart pump when we're not brewing. Then for the other side, I actually just went and got one of these cheap plastic ladders. And all we use this for is for the second guy to climb up there and stir in with the mash paddle. I actually like this because you just hold it up, get it out of your way. We actually use this all over the brew house. We got to access the upper shelves, or if you got to climb up to get on, clean up the top of a fermenter or something. Really lightweight, portable. So this just works for our use. All right, now I want to talk about the hose setup. So we did all these hoses custom, and the nice thing about this, we did everything the perfect lengths that we needed. We measured everything out, and these are actually platinum cured silicone hoses. You have to be very careful with the hoses. When I first got my pilot system, it actually came with this really milky silicone, it was milky white silicone hoses. I think they were from China or something, and they imparted a really nasty hose flavor to it. Actually, I talked to the guys that made the system, and we talked about it. Now they've changed all their hoses over to platinum cured as well. So we're using half-inch platinum cured hoses. We got TC fittings on each end. Then we took this foam pipe insulation and we wrapped around it. Then we went over with electrical tape. Basically, we just did the electrical tape because it makes it easier to clean. So like the foam doesn't clean real easy, and it also seals it in. So, and these actually work really, really nice. Now, what I've noticed though, we don't want to use our cart pump for this particular transfer. What we're using this for is, one, we're sparging off of the hot liquor tank, and we sparge real slow, so we use these chugger pumps. And the chugger pumps also came with a pilot system, so it's really cool how we integrated our pilot system with our 5-barrel system. So we have the chugger pump for our sparge with custom hoses that run there, and the nice insulation keeps the water hot as it goes. Then from the mash tun, we run from here to the chugger pump, and then over to our racking arm on our boil kettle. And when we first start this up, you'll see in a little bit, we actually just open it up and gravity feed over, which is really nice. And we'll gravity feed to the point where it really, really slows down. Then we actually turn the ball valve down, and we turn the pump on so it pumps really slow. Because you actually don't want to pump your wort over really fast. So utilizing these chugger pumps and these custom hoses worked really nice for us. And then we use the professional grade brewer hoses anytime we're doing like a real fast transfer, like we're knocking out at the end, or we're doing our hot water in the beginning like we talked about. All right, this is what it looks like inside during our sparge and our boil off. This is our boil off arm here. It's adjustable. We got it set right above the grain bed. You can see there's plenty of liquid on top. We'll run a little bit extra sparge water in here. You can see with this sparge arm. Both of these just tri-clamp on so we can remove them for cleaning. Okay, boil off is over. Getting ready to do the transfer, so I'm going to close off my valve. Remove this from our boil off arm. And we made this hose just the perfect length to fit over here. So I like to run this through our racking arm. It actually kind of swirls the wort while it's going in there. Okay, I'm going to open this back up. Then we can take a look inside the kettle. You can see it coming in here, and we can adjust this racking arm. I like to keep it at an angle like this, so once the bottom gets covered and the wort comes in, it actually creates almost like a whirlpool effect. Then we kick on the burner, the wort's always moving, so we don't have to worry about scorching. This kettle was actually custom built. You can see this trub dam right here. This is a removable trub dam. We had them add that in there. I want to talk a little bit about our boil kettle. So this was actually custom made. I didn't like their stock designs at Stout Tanks and Kettles. I wanted it to be a little bit wider. I wanted to have full access. So we got this nice big hinge lid that opens up so we can get in there for cleaning. We do a lot of fruit beers and stuff, and this was really important for me to have full access in there, not just a little manway up top. It does have a port here so we can hook the spray ball and we can do a CIP loop on it. Back here we actually have it's really a steam condensing vent. So it elbows back, and we actually have it hooked up and running outside, and I actually have a dampener in there. It's not a solid dampener, there's holes in there, so it can restrict a little bit. We added that in there just so that in the wintertime it keeps the cold air from coming in until we get it to a boil. As soon as we get to a boil or close to a boil, we open that up so it pumps all the steam out. And then on the outside here, we have this rotatable racking arm, and we have our big port at the bottom where we can use for cleaning, dumping, or transferring. And then, of course, we have our temperature probe here. It has a really nice sight glass. What we did is we actually took buckets, these 5-gallon brew buckets at a known volume, we dumped them in, and we figured out our lines here. So we came up with, we know exactly how much volume we're putting in our kettle. This was really nice. Then over here, we have our Whirlpool arm. And then in the back, this is actually kind of a hybrid tank. In the back, there's 2 additional 1.5-inch tri-clamp ports. And what we did is we run a heating element in there. We used to run 2 110 heating elements, and we would just kind of plug them in direct just to help bring it to a boil faster. Because I did find with this gas-fired system, it took a little longer than I wanted to bring to a boil. Now once you get to a boil, it's fine. So those heating elements actually just boost our time. It creates a shorter brew day for us. So we added those into the back. We actually have a pigtail here. We just kind of plug right into it. And we use the breaker to turn it on and off. It works really well. We get those, I believe it was through Brewer's Hardware. And the gas system comes to the bottom. Now we wait till the wort just covers the bottom, and then we just kick on our burner, it kicks on. Transfer is complete. Now we're getting ready to clean the mash tun, so I'm just going to kind of go over that with you a little bit. This has this really nice removable tray here. It's just 2 little nuts that hold it on, so we pop this on here. We like to pull it out in the same grain bags it came into. We got these couple little clips that we put right here. So we're going to crank open the manway. That first initial spot, you got to grab it and throw it in there. Prevents it from going all over the ground and making a mess. And now, when we're cleaning, always remember to wash this immediately. Just a quick rinse is going to save you a lot of scrubbing in the end. Because right now, it's all wet and it comes right off. That's going to save a ton of time cleaning later. We take our food grade hoe and we start hoeing it out. Okay, we're at the end of our boil here. We got our hoses all set up. We're doing our Whirlpool right now. coming off of the racking arm right now, which are pumped, and through our Whirlpool arm. Talk a little bit louder, our glycol chiller just kicked on. So from here, when the Whirlpool's done, we're going to drop this hose into the bottom of our heat exchanger. We got our pre-filter right here, and then it runs through our heat exchanger. We got this going through our oxygen stone and over into our fermenter. We have our cold water line here and our cold water dump over there. So we'll crack this open. Check out, that's a pretty nice Whirlpool we got going on here. This is our hazy IPA. It's looking pretty hazy.